Hello and good afternoon, everybody, or good morning if you are on the other side of the ocean, or
Or
good
evening.
night if you are on the other side towards east. I
day.
imagine, can you hear us? This is the first time we're trying stream from this setup.
From this, this room, this scary, scary room.
Yeah, this is a new room. I think I streamed here only once before, but it was months ago. So let's,
Yep, they got sound good.
perfect. So let's introduce ourselves. Who
Sure.
are we and what do we do?
Who am I?
Who are you?
I'm Stephen Murray. I'm the Stellaris game director. You may remember me from Dev Diaries, such as the one the other day, or the one before that. I've been here for a little while, and today we have a awesome 3.99.1 build that is completely untested. Who are you? What are you doing here?
So some people might remember me from some really old streams for surviving the aftermath. We're talking years ago. But my name is Davide, and I work nowadays as a product marketing manager on Stellaris. I generally am the guy reading Steven's Dev Diary and then going there and say, oh yeah, but can you please move this comma? It's not... Exactly. And I never get it my way.
No.
But yeah, and I'm also here to support Steven in talking about the current beta and what's the next step. Maybe we should start straight from there, Steven. Talk about what's next in the beta.
Okay, so the 3.99 beta is a test, or it's a test of some of the things that we're putting into 4.0. It's 3.99 because it's not quite 4.0, as any of you that have played it have already found out. Let's see, there were a couple of major systems being changed, like how pops work, which is sort of the fundamentals of Stellaris. Therefore, I wanted to have an open beta as early as possible so you guys could find all the horrible, horrible things that, went wrong, because you're really, really good at that. In fact, let's see, when I had the technology open beta, you guys immediately found that the breakthrough technologies were killing performance like crazy. And this time you found that robots were killing people like crazy.
I was about to ask you about that because I remember yesterday you were going, oh, they already found out this.
I was so happy because I was like, yes, this has proven that I was right.
So can you tell us what happened with the robots?
Okay, so we did have a minor little bug in 3.99.0 where if you had a robot on a planet with organics that were growing, it would kill everyone. Slowly, over time. It would cause them to... So since... if there were any pop groups on the planet that were unable to grow, then all pop groups on the planet would not grow. And since they were not robots or anything like that, it assumed that they were being purged. So, yeah, robots killed everyone. So one of our patch notes in 3.99.1 is assembling robots will no longer cause the slow and inevitable decline of your growing pops.
All right.
So, yeah, basically Skynet. That's, what chat is saying over there.
Yeah. So, chat, if you have any question about the beta, if you tried the beta and want to ask something that you saw and you don't understand, this is a good opportunity for you to ask. In the meanwhile, Stephen, you already mentioned the 3.99.1
yes,
update.
3.99.1 is the build that we will be attempting to play today. It, as I said before, is completely untested, so this is going to be exciting.
And do we know, like, can you provide more context? So it's a new update, like we just made it.
Yeah. Okay. So we put up the 3.99.0 open beta on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And there has been a lot of people hitting it, and you found a lot of interesting things. And we said earlier that we wanted to update it as quickly as possible. So hopefully we'll be updating it tomorrow. The results of this stream will likely influence that decision significantly. I'm pretty sure we'll update it tomorrow.
Okay, so let's hope that the stream goes well and that players can start testing this tomorrow. Do we want to talk about the top changes that we made compared to the current version? What are, well, you said already the robots.
It's easier to show, probably.
We can jump into the game then. Let's not wait. And I think I need to press this button. And we should be in game.
Hey, look, it's us in a tiny little box.
Yeah.
Let me out. Let me out.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, as some of you have already commented, we have our beautiful open beta screen. Much purple, so placeholder. New game?
Yeah, sorry. I just have good memories of this purple.
This purple, yeah. He asked me not to cover the logo. So,
Yep.
we will be playing the United Nations of Earth or the Commonwealth of Man. The beta is, well, this is very early, as Jeff was telling us before. So, vanilla sorts of things are suggested. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, should we go down to the blorg? Because it's, you know, tradition.
Okay.
They
yes.
should work, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing there should be too weird. Guaranteed bugs. Okay, so let's see. Different things that we've added in this. There's a couple of new things here in the game settings. Not too much here. Elliptical is the most boring galaxy shape. I don't know why we have that as a default. You know, I can change that. I'm the game director.
Yeah. Incredible.
Incredible.
Not that you're the game director, that you can
That's
change
kind
it
of
as the game
incredible,
director.
So here we can pick which precursors we want. A minimum of 4 is recommended. If we go, hey, like we don't want the First League or the Cybrex, we can turn them off because, you know, nobody wants them because they're too good.
Okay.
Or we can just allow everything. What it'll do is it'll split the galaxy up into quadrants or whatever the word for 9 of them is, nonance. And then, yeah, basically the way it was before. But you can exclude some.
But okay, so basically it splits the galaxy into, let's call it slices.
Slices.
Yeah, based on the number
Like
of
a pizza.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking right now. Pizza. It's 4 p.m. here in Stockholm, already thinking about dinner. And then it will assign one precursor per slice, right?
Yeah.
And then
That's what it does right now too.
Yeah, but
in 3.14. But now you can select which ones you want available and which ones you don't.
so you can also choose to have one guaranteed.
Yeah, we can be like, yes, we really want the Voltome, and we can turn everyone off except for them. And in fact, we can even go, we don't want any precursors because precursors are too cool. This in development actually caused a bug because we would split the universe into 0 slices, and that was bad.
Ah,
So let's pick at least one. Actually, now it works. It'll just not pick.
yeah, let's pick at least 4. It says a minimum of 4 is recommended.
It's recommended because that way you won't know what's going on. We've added fleet upkeep logistics cost and planetary deficit logistic cost here because trade has been revamped into a proper resource, and it is now used to pay for fleets. It's more expensive to pay for fleets that are in hostile territory or neutral territory. It's free to, the logistics cost is negated when they're docked, and it's reduced when you're in friendly space. And planetary deficit logistics costs, if you have local planetary deficits, like this planet produces a bunch of alloys, but it needs hundreds and hundreds of minerals, then you have to spend some of your logistic capability, which is measured by trade, in order to commandeer freighters and things like that, in order to bring stuff from one place to another.
Yeah.
Well, you should be reading up top. So
Yeah, like there are. I was thinking,
a lot of questions up there.
can you move the mouse upstairs so we can look at the questions?
How far?
So, first of all, I noticed that we have several people writing in Polish in the chat. So I want to say hello to all our Polish friends in the chat.
Hello.
Special shout out because there were several. And then there were, I saw EP30 asking, can you go on the Twitch chat? EP30 was asking on Twitch.
9 slice pizza.
Nice, yeah, nice. Wait, how does it work? I don't know how the nice
Galcom
pizza
time
works.
sliders. Yeah, Alfred got that one. Making the Galcom take longer. We could consider that.
Okay.
You can make the Galcom faster by becoming the custodian or by adding more people to the council.
Yeah. Does disabling precursor scroll back up?
What?
There. Precursors change the precursor spawn range, like in the galaxy.
So it will split it into pizza slices, basically. Each, if I remember correctly, exactly how it works, each slice gets assigned system flags, and then that is related to which precursor will appear in those squares, or in those systems, not squares. That's not a great galaxy.
Yep. All right.
Pizza is eternal, in fact.
All right. I don't see any other
Post
questions.
cursors. You can encounter post cursors if you finish Cosmogenesis. The universe blinks forward in time, and then you can continue playing your, you can encounter your fallen empire. Let's see. And hello, everyone.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the Blur commonality. They've changed. They've come a long way since almost 10 years ago.
Here is something that you perhaps didn't know.
Oh, here is something that I perhaps didn't know. No, shut this thing
You're
down.
making a terrible mistake.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
I am making a terrible mistake. So, here is the new planet view. This is one of the places where we've had the most changes, and there are a number of changes here between 3.990 and 3.991. So, for example, you can actually tell what zones you have built. That is a nice improvement. Let's see. We've made a couple of other, like, just general UI changes. You know, you can now tell what areas are clickable. This is useful. You can now replace and change your zones. You need to clear out all of the buildings first. So let's demolish our primitive factory here. Bam. Goodbye.
Also, that's what I'm supposed to do.
I mean, you can, except now I have no consumer goods. So
okay.
that's going to be a problem.
There are a couple of questions from the two chats. So there was one asking if we plan to get a chance to change what Fallen Empire spawn.
We currently don't have that in the plan, but I mean,
Maybe
anything can happen.
anything can happen. And then the other question is from the Twitch chat asking, will modded precursors appear in the selection too?
I think it's pretty easy to add them.
Okay.
I can't guarantee that since I haven't tried.
Okay. So we believe so, but
I think so. I think that they will appear in there, and you'll be able to select them or unselect them. Let's see.
All right.
Oh yeah, EP30 points out you can force spawn a scion with Ethics of the Fallen Empire you want. Yes, 5,000 pops. One of the things that we've changed is that pops are now sorted into pop groups. Like here we have a ton of blurg specialists. They are roughly 100 times the size that they used to be. And one of the reasons why we did this is because here, we're going to ruin this game because, you know, first off, I deleted my thing. Hey, look, Chivos. There's another thing we changed. You don't need Iron Man for achievements anymore. You do need an unmodded checksum, but you can get those now. At the moment, some of them are really easy to get, like the have a planet with at least 100 pops.
Oh yeah, that must be.
That one's really easy. The other one that I got was the have 9,000 diplomatic weight, because once again, I have 5,200 pops. So, okay. And now, down here, we have a couple of blurg.
Yep.
And, you know, our economy is collapsing and things like that. But the incremental pop growth is a really big deal in this one. It let us remove a bunch of kind of oddities with the pop growth system, like all your colonies having at least a minimum level of growth and things like that. They actually now follow the proper logistic curves, which makes me happy. Let's see. Need bigger UI, too small. Stellaris UIs are all made to fit in 720p because we did release in 2016, and we don't want to make people unable to play with at the resolutions that they're capable of. So that is why our UI UX designer is pulling out her hair very frequently as we're trying to figure out how to fit this much information into such a small space.
I had no idea about this piece of information.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Surprise.
No.
Yeah, we support 720p, and I won't let them change it because I care about them.
Yeah, maybe somewhere there is still somebody playing on an old monitor.
There are.
Yeah.
I think that it was, there's still a couple % of people out there that are playing at very low resolutions. So.
All right.
Okay. Let's see what else we showing. Okay, zones. Zones are a new thing. Can I rebuild my terrible? No, hang on. Did I restart because I've kind of ruined this build?
Okay, sure.
Whatever. Here, we'll just spend trade. Hey, look, in the market, we have a trade stockpile here. Trade is created by things that, create trade. We no longer have the trade route system because it was incredibly unperformant and very, very confusing for a lot of players. They would win a war of conquest or something like that, get a whole bunch of new systems, and then would have to figure out how to link the trade networks back together and things like that. And this was a point that a lot of people just didn't get. The performance implications, like I said before, were terrible. When we were looking at what would we change for 4.0, because one of the things that I really wanted was to improve performance in the late game. This was one of the things that I decided was not actually worth keeping in its current state. So we still have the things that creating trade, but trade can stockpile, and like I said before, is used for some logistical purposes.
So there were questions.
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So.
Will it possible in 4.0 to create more than 4 districts and 3 zones? A lot of mods have custom planets with more than 4 districts.
It is so everything that we're doing is going to be fairly moddable. The beta versions are not as moddable as we would like. We're doing some things the hard way just to get them in and done. But internally, we've been discussing how to make things use tags and things like that, so it's much easier to add your own zones, add your own districts. You'll be able to, you can change the number of zones per district, but it would likely require some changes to the planet UI in order to display them.
Yeah. There were a question about the patch notes.
We do have patch notes.
Yeah, we have the patch notes. Of course, they're not public yet.
But I can read them out.
Yeah, we can read them out if you want.
If people want to listen to, hey, it's knocked away the thing.
Like an audiobook.
Yeah.
And
or
now,
maybe I'll read a couple of them at a time and then show some more stuff and then go back.
Oh, we're not doing. And now the 3.91 patch notes read by Stephen Murray.
Okay, fixes and improvements. Fallen empires are now blocked from using the existential expulsion casus belli. As funny as it was for you to like annoy one of the fallen empires, having them eradicate you instead of humiliating you, that was sad. Negative effects have been added to the magnetic disruption planet modifier. Okay. Assembling robots will no longer cause the slow and inevitable decline of your empire. Changed auto-pick leader trait setting back to default to off. I thought I did set it to off, except it accidentally reverted back to on by default. So one of the things that we added was here in settings, under gameplay, you can choose to auto-select leader traits by default if you don't enjoy picking them. If you do enjoy picking them, by default it is now on again. Let's see. Made species right button different for pre-sapients. Pops and workforce. Fixed traders not being created from trade zones. Fun fact, if you created the fortress zones, you would get both the traders and the soldiers in 3.9.0. Adjusted amenities and housing from luxury housing. So one of the big problems that a lot of people had was amenities, luxury housing. So luxury housing used to be terrible. Now it is less terrible because it gives you 3,000 housing and 2,500 amenities. This is flat. It doesn't multiply by the number of districts you have. But if you're in a pinch or just need a pile of whatever, you can build this.
Okay.
Where was I?
I just literally in my gameplay, I'm playing, as I told you, I played the pirate faction and my amenities are down and criminality is through the roof.
Well, you're pirates, of course.
Exactly. It's very fitting, but hey, we still like to have some music and some drugs.
Let's see. What do 5,206 pops mean? Hundreds of thousands, millions, something tangible, something logical. No, we do not thrive on logic here. We do not explain or say how many pops are actually, or how many creatures are actually in a pop unit. You can consider it, anywhere from hundreds of thousands to millions. But we leave that to your headcanon because it could be, we're a race of, tiny little badgers wearing trench coats standing on top of each other, so whatever. And then, it's 3.4 billion per pop. Or it's just like, 5 guys sitting there and, they're very, very effective.
Yeah. And then there was another question.
There was a lot of questions.
Yeah, there are a lot of questions. Wow.
Can I replace the early industry zone? Yes, I can if I had resources. So here's my replace button. And then, okay, here, I will cheat because I've already ruined this one anyway. What do we want? How about a research zone? Everybody likes research, right?
All right.
So for the open beta, the zone build times are super fast because it's convenient. And now I can build my research labs and things like that. And over here, we can build a foundry zone.
Is the new pop growth displayed anywhere?
No, not really. Over here, it's intended to show the pop growth growth of that group or change in that pop's numbers over the last month, because there's things like migration that can move them, asteroid strikes, whatever, bombardment, purging, but we haven't hooked that one up yet.
Let's see. Let's take a question from YouTube.
Yes, defining people per pop leads to realism arguments, and I try not to do that. We're hilarious. Yes.
Do no normal planets work yet?
After 4.0, what are we doing for Stellaris? Probably 4.1.
Oh, or 4.01.
Oh, actually, that's true. Yeah, 4.01. We'll definitely have post-release support after this one. Why do notifications appear in 2 rows here? I don't know. That's pretty cool. So someone did something cool. I mean, I have a bunch of things to select.
Scallion, Scallion is asking about UI in high resolutions, and we were talking about it a bit earlier. So,
well, we were talking about minimum resolution before. There is the UI scaling, except it's not really great. I will admit that. Current scaling destroys UI in 4K monitors, text especially. Yes, I have a 4K monitor on one of my computers at home, and it's utterly unreadable. I do not have a satisfying answer to that at the moment, but it is something that we could probably look, or should probably look into at some point, because more and more of the community is in high res. In the interim, there are UI mods that significantly improve it.
Yeah.
Will there be a DLC released with this update? Yes, 4.0 will be releasing alongside the Q2 DLC. And I'm getting the dagger stared at me. Oh, no, no, I'm allowed to say that? I already said, I said it when I announced it.
You already said it.
Back in the 4.0, announcing Stellaris 4.0, I said.
Yeah.
So, let's see. I have more.
Let's go with the patch notes.
Back to patch notes. Let's see. Pops now have more appropriate diplomatic weight, although I still got the over 9,000, so maybe that one didn't make it. I don't know. We'll find out. Adjusted the menus. Oh, I read that one. Civilians now grant the benefits associated with culture workers. So if you build the Autocathon monument, which, hey, look, we have this right here. Our clerks are clerks. Civilians produce unity, naval capacity, pop-up keep reduction, and governing ethics attraction. And these vary based on the Empire's ethics. So basically, we're turning civilians into what clerks used to be for the most part, except that Grunts, one of our systems designers, has essentially convinced me that we should keep clerks around in the that early industry pre-FTL thing as a bad jobs thing. Speaking of which, you guys have seen the flavor text on the early industry zone, right? So,
I want to say thank you because it allowed me immediately to say, okay, not this one.
Yeah, it's not good.
Exactly. And then, get alloys.
Get alloys. Get consumer goods. So the way the new system works is that zones modify your. I should start at the beginning, huh?
Yeah.
Stellaris is a complicated game. So the biggest change with the whole pop and pop group thing is that pops are no longer individual. They are now bundled together into these pop groups that are bundled based on a whole bunch of things. Their strata, their a lot of things. Strata, ethics, faction, and something else that is totally eluding me right now. I wrote dev diaries on this. You can go read those. They're
on the forums.
Yes, they're all on the forums. These are much better for our calculation purposes. So this is why we're hoping that this will work much better in the late game. Anecdotal, things from the beta suggest that it is actually better, and we haven't yet done some of the optimizations that we're planning on doing. I'm uncertain whether some of the benefits you're seeing right now are because the AI is collapsing in a big ball of fire, or if the systems are actually better than they are. So I'm not promising that yet. But I'm pretty confident that after our changes, everything will be much, much better.
All right.
So fewer pops, but planets are the things that are now producing and consuming resources. Jobs are attached to the planet instead of directly to pop. And we've added zones. So city district here, it's tainted by all of our zones. city districts will provide housing, basically. They won't provide building slots because that doesn't exist anymore. So we're going to need to delete those. And your zones affect what jobs the city districts provide. So each city district that we build, let's see, where research zone. So like this gives 100 researchers of some sort per district that we've built, or development as we're calling it now. So if we go over to here, we can see that we have 400 biologists, like some enforcers, 400 engineers, and 400 physicists. And then we have a couple of unemployed specialist blorg. You will note that the blorg that are growing in the specialist stratum stay specialist. They inherit their parents' social class.
Oh wow! Okay, social commentary here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they will demote down if they're unable to find a job, but they'll be cranky the entire time.
Yeah.
And
so then we have the workers.
They will become workers and become, unemployed. And then I'm going to let time run here because I want some people to demote down to... Do I not have civilians? We have a civilian strata also. Wonder where they went. I should have civilians already.
We don't have civilians.
Oh, I know what happened. I built a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have civilians because I made too many jobs. Okay, hang on. Let's see what people are talking about.
They're talking about a bunch of things. Somebody's asking, are there only 3 zones per planet, or will there be more with tech?
Okay, well, I've got my
log updated.
I've got my government zone.
Yep.
Then I have 3 definable zones per planet,
Yep.
and then 1 for each of the rural zones. So that's 7 total. Each zone has up to 3 buildings that you can put in. Buildings are planet unique. There will be many, many more buildings coming. Like right now, the government zone can hold a whole horde of different buildings. The urban zone and the early industrial zone are similar and can hold pretty much everything.
And so if you look at the mining district, for example, it says require mineral purification. Once you get that technology, you will also be able to add buildings to your. And now we're going to cheat again, are we?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, look, we know everything. I mean, I've already cheated, so I might as well keep cheating.
And now
Okay, so now let's build our energy zone. That needs a better name. And then here we've got a couple of different things. We have a building that will provide automation. I don't think this one actually works yet. The intent for this is for it to take over some of the workforce necessary for the energy jobs that we have here. I keep interrupting myself because I never actually explained workforce. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that again at some point. Other buildings modify what the jobs themselves do. The theory is planets produce resources based on the jobs they have. Districts provide the actual jobs. Zones decide what jobs the districts are providing, and then buildings modify the jobs themselves. So it's a big, long chain of fun. I have a dev diary about this one too. Where it's probably more clear than what I'm talking about here. So let me go build to the urban zone. If he has it here, Unity research. Oh, it's not there. Okay, I'm going to build the industry zone. Yay, it's terrible. It's not good, but it can hold a lot of stuff, which makes it kind of good, sort of, except not.
Well, do not trust tooltips.
Look, I'm going to build Omega alignment because I know everything. Let's see.
There are questions about buildings that can be multiple zones. Can we have a button to move buildings to other zones to clear up space?
I don't think so. Our plan there would be that, there are some buildings that are intended to be zone unique rather than like the automation buildings here. All buildings are planet unique right now, for the most part, because everything in Stellaris has except for ... This is actually intended to be 1 per zone. So, or actually 1 per district is the thing, because you'll be able to have 1 in each section. Most of the time, the buildings will be particular to the zone because they're filtered down. Like you only have stuff that it relates to energy in the generator district. The urban zone is the weird edge case, which is I can take almost everything.
The early industry zone, you mean?
Well, yes, but there will be a city urban zone, which is I can hold whatever.
Yep.
Let's see.
So let's see. There are people asking about habitats and
Hab-
how they will work.
I have that in one of the dev diaries too about our plans for habitats. They are not at all functional in this build yet. I have a branch in which I've done some of the work for it, and Alfred did some of the work for it. Under the table behind the scenes, because he was working on DLC stuff instead. But then he was like, "Hey, I've done half the habitat work," and I was like, "Thanks." The habitats will generate their basically there'll be the central habitat up here, and then down here there'll be the 3 orbital types, and the kind of like how planets pick how many energy deposits they can have based on the planetary features. Habitats will do the math for you basically, and figure out what orbitals can be built in the system, and we're now modifying it based on the size of those deposits instead of just being like, yeah, it's 3 per. So if you have something that has a very large energy deposit, your habitat built in that zone will be able to have more energy deposits than something that has like 2 tiny ones.
Okay.
And they'll continue to have energy, mining, and research, because those are the 3 types of things that habitats can build right now. And Alfred will give habitats another balance pass after.
Okay.
Yes. Automation building will be late game tech? No, actually, it'll probably be fairly early for poor automation. And then as you get better, you'll be able to improve it most likely. So, workforce. Workforce is a thing. Pumps provide workforce. Here, our Blorg are pretty good at science and bureaucracy. So they have this is because I researched all technologies, and we got a bunch of improvements to ourselves. So we have our 1,200 workforce of Blorg here, and they're producing the work of 1,330 people. 20? I don't know. It's tiny and far away.
Yeah, 133, 1,320.
We can fire a bunch of them, and then they're sad because now they're unemployed.
Oh no.
That's okay. Fine. They can have their jobs back.
Council agenda ready.
Let's see. Questions. Every building tech is pre-researched on the beta. Some of them don't have requirements that they should, like you can get the moat harvesting traps and things like that without having moat harvesting, but I've cheated here to get access to everything so I can show more stuff.
Yeah.
A habitat system in the same system as Dragon Horde. Yeah, oh, that's Alfred. I don't need to answer your questions. In fact, that's not a question.
Will there ever be an option to limit turn-off habitats in general, like old Stellaris with planet caps?
It's something that we could consider. The AI does actually already have a limit to the number of habitats they can build, especially if they're not void dwellers, because they had the habit of building them kind of everywhere, which it was a little bit awkward because it's like, this is actually the correct thing to do in the long run, but it was annoying. So we toned them down a bit. Can you get achievements while playing the beta? Yes, you can.
Go is super easy right now to get some achievements. I literally launched my game Tuesday and I started getting achievements every 10 seconds or something.
Should I do another 3 or 4 patch notes? So let's see. Planetary view. Tabs in the planet view now have correct hotkeys. So yes, see, look, you can't tell what keys I'm pressing. So, but look, management is actually on X. Urban zones now show their titles. Yeah, you see that? Look, it's the government zone. We're also working on getting some of the flavor in here and rearranging some of this. It's kind of a mess still, but it will be better. So one thing, the zones, they're still not clickable here. We'll get that in probably the next build. So right now, if you want to change your zones, you need to click on the district itself. And then this is where you replace them. Move the build district level button from district details into the planet summary screen. Yeah, so now you can build districts by upgrading them. Oh no, I've run out of space. The build queue tooltip over here now actually says build queue instead of previous.
All right.
That's a big one.
Yeah, I kid you not, I was so confused about that buttons.
Displaying the district type names in the planet summary screen. So yeah, this is a mining district. This is an agriculture district. Move job production changes to buildings for better tooltips. So now you can mouse over your building and see what it's actually doing. Hey, this is a duplicate. And colony view tabs have been ordered ZXCVB. Rescaled focus reward requirements to be easier to reach the final tiers. Okay. One of the other things we added in 4.0 is here in the situation log, we have the Empire focus and timeline. These are sort of short and medium term goals for people because we found that a lot of new players sometimes have problems understanding what am I supposed to be doing in this game. It's kind of a sandbox. You get dropped in. No one's telling you what to do. Here's a couple things you can do. Like if I'm focused on exploration, maybe survey a system. That's a good idea. Have a mineral income of 50 if I'm more focused on civilization and development. Building an agriculture district is something that pretty much everyone should do, unless you're a lithoid or a robot or something like that.
Yeah.
Winning a fleet battle is good if you're feeling military. Enacting a planetary decision. Some of these are not things you necessarily want to do immediately, but it's okay because all of these tasks are retroactive. So if you finish something, it'll say finished, even if you haven't gotten that task or card or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's
then
see.
if you're
and what do you get for this? Not a lot, to be honest, because in fact I'm gonna get nothing because I know everything. We were very, very concerned with this not being a the only way to play the game is to maximize you completing these Empire focuses. If you're playing an exploration focused Empire, you should just be finishing these just by playing the game the way you want to be playing the game. We did not want to be to be optimal, you must constantly be checking this and doing stuff. That's why they're retroactive. That's why you don't need to do anything to claim them. As you finish them, this reward bar with these wonderful tooltips here will complete. And as you see, I get no rewards because the only rewards you get for these are guaranteed research options. I'm going to actually start a new game that is less cheaty so I can show that.
Yep.
New. Lord, we're so far away. We're our friends. Oh no.
Oh no. All right. I'm going to click this button. We had
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise.
That was the surprise exit button.
Yep.
Okay, let's see.
But I want to say, yeah, overall the timeline is, if you know Stellaris just a little bit, you will just it will be another thing going on in the background. You're not supposed to look at it, check it. It's a cool feature, but it doesn't drive the way you play. It's something cool that we are doing on. So this is really, for what I understand, more for the new players.
It's mostly for new players. The other half of it is to reduce the reliance on random number generation. You can poke the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I was too early.
No, maybe not.
Oh no.
I think that there is something that we need to set up with OBS, and probably we need to have some tech support. So I'll leave you here. I'll go get some help because I think that here OBS is not picking up Stellaris anymore.
Yay. Okay, well, I can keep explaining this anyway. So, let's see. Okay. By completing these, you will gain progression in the Empire progressions, and these only give research options. You still have to research them, but say if you're doing Conquest, they are Doctrine Fleet Support, which is the plus naval capacity tech. And then there's Specialized Combat Computers. And hi, who are you? Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Alex. I am a stream tech now, apparently.
He's fixing everything.
It seems to be back now.
Yay! Okay, there we go. Okay, so here there's Doctrine Fleet Support. Here there's Specialized Combat Computers. Then there's Doctrine Space Combat, which is, more command limit. Destroyers. Support vessels. Reactive formations. Cruisers. More stuff. Battleships. And then existential campaigns. In development, which is our civilization sort of thing, we have, planetary unification, which you saw earlier is necessary in order to unlock the last zone on your capital. Adaptive bureaucracy. The Federation Code, which will no longer be in traditions. We still need to change the diplomacy traditions. Starhold. Xenodiplomacy. Effective bureaucracy. Star Fortress. Xenorelations. Citadel. And a little tech called Mega Engineering.
Wow.
You still need to research these, even if they are given to you as a guaranteed research option. But it means that if this is core to the focus of your empire, you have a way of guaranteeing that it will show up eventually. And since I showed everything else, I guess I might as well show exploration, automated exploration, exotic material labs, administrative AI, hyperlane breach points, terrestrial sculpting, self-evolving logic, hyperspace slipstreams, multidimensional studies, positronic AI, and jump drives.
And sorry to ask this, maybe you already explained it while I was fetching Alex. But these research can also appear randomly in your...
Oh yeah. All this is there is nothing in the system that is where this is the only way to get it.
Okay.
So these can appear randomly, including existential campaigns, which unlocks existential expulsion. You may remember this from our greatest hits, such as Galactic Nemesis.
Yeah. Just asking because so if somebody really doesn't want to interact with the system,
They don't have to.
There's that. You just ignore it.
Okay, let's see. Is there Stellaris merch available at all? Yeah, there's a merch store, isn't there?
Yeah,
I
on
mean, my shirt is from there.
Exactly. If you go on our website, paradoxinteractive.com, there is our merch store where then you can select several T-shirts, and among those, we had for all the games we have, and there are several for.
There's also
Stellaris.
hoodies and things like that.
Yeah, there is
you can't get this cool jacket though unless you work here. So
No, somebody was asking about it. No, sorry. In order,
careers.paradox.com or something like that.
yeah, jobs.
Jobs? I don't know.
Yeah.
So no killer structures in the progression tree. So most of the, or almost all of these are base game right now. In the final version, we will include what DLCs you have and change some of the rewards. And I think there'll also probably be more tiers, but we'll see. Can you skip prereqs by rushing empire progressions? Yeah, I think so.
So it's career.paradoxplaza.com.
Yeah, there.
/jobs.
career.paradoxplaza.com/jobs.
If you want one
If
of
you
these
want one of these
jackets,
sweet jackets.
and I think we have very few
There's
left.
very, very few left.
So if you want one, you really need to apply now.
Is the intent that AI will all use Total War CBs by the end game through existential campaigns? They're likely to. We will be putting some weights on the CBs, so the pacifists, not a pacifist won't be able to use it, neither will the regular pacifists most likely. Turn the music down, BB, please.
I think it was here. We can.
Yeah, computer down.
Chat, let us know if the volumes are now better. Also, I think that you are moving further away from your mic. at time. So that's also happening. Can we have research Citadel before Starhold? It's a question that just popped
end
up.
up with the guaranteed research options. So yeah, probably. That is a little weird. So let's see. I lost my patch notes closed. So let's see.
And my computer went into sleep mode. So
let's see. Fix the requirements for focus tasks like observer pre-FTL. And build a mega shipyard, because you can't do that if you don't actually own the mega shipyard, so you shouldn't get those tasks. There's a bunch of other focus related things like don't have 10 space amoeba mothers if you're not beastmasters. Drawing leader level focus tasks now must be sequential. Cultists. The chance to encounter the cultist event chain now depends on your ethics. The cultist event chain now fires after a year instead of after a month. Cultists are now neutral until you choose to attack them. You can also now forgive the cultists and have them join you. I think that one has a cost though, like in Unity or something like that. Yes, you can pay them to go away, basically. And then there's a change to trigger num-pops because it's now 100 times what it was before. So those are the things that we got in the last couple of days. We're planning on updating the beta very, very frequently. I'm hoping that we can end up at a cadence where we're updating it twice a week, but I can't guarantee that one.
Okay, so that's
So
a very,
lots of stuff.
yeah, lots of stuff constantly changing based on your feedback. So right now it's a good moment to help us shaping how the future of Stellaris looks like with your feedback. And also, let's not forget, together with the beta, we have a bunch of surveys. They are available on the forum in the diary. We potentially put them in the launcher as well in the next few days so that we can also gather aggregated data that drive the conversation in a specific area that we're looking into. I think that right now, what's the survey right now about?
The one right now is about this, the timeline and the focuses. We will, I think we still have those questions in next week's survey, but then we add something else to it. And then I think in the third one, we took away this part because it was getting really long. I'm not entirely sure though.
So if you see a survey in the diary, even if you already answered the survey, you can re-answer it because we put likely either change the question or are working on a different iteration of the same feature. Let's see.
Let's see. How will planetary invasions work? Pretty much the way they do right now, except that at the moment in the beta, defensive armies don't spawn, so they're very, very, very easy. In fact, you don't actually need assault armies right now because the planets will surrender unless you're a purifier or something like that. Do the focus rewards give partial research or just guaranteed research? Just the guaranteed research. If you already have it as a research option or are researching it, you get nothing. Let's see. Will modders be able to add their own tiers and focus categories very, very easily? Probably. Yes to the tiers, yes to the tasks. I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to add a new category, but once again, I haven't tried that.
There is Ryan B. That is saying that currently the early balance is hard and it seems to be difficult to make a self-sufficient planet. Do you have any couple of tips? Hey, if you're trying the beta and there is a bunch of, placeholders and very purple, you should really start this way.
So your early industry zone is really terrible. However, don't get rid of it until you can actually replace the things that it's providing you, because it is actually giving you these laborer jobs. Laborers are where you're getting your consumer goods in the beginning. We are adding more buildings, and so we're likely in the next batch to add some buildings that just have jobs, like a flat number of jobs, because there are things like you don't want to have to dedicate one of your 3 customizable zones on every planet to amenities, that sort of thing. Which actually, that one's already in here because you can put the...
you have a get amenities.
We have an amenities building now. It's the luxury residences.
Yeah.
I believe that he hasn't updated the shared burdens variant of this, the communal housing. So it'll be a little rough there.
Let's see.
Have I fixed pop assembly buildings? The robots will no longer kill everyone. So sort of. Will I add a zone that gives both consumer goods and alloys, not just one? We're not planning on it right now, other than I think the early industrial zone might be doing that. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Never mind.
Oh, there is somebody that's having the same thing I was having. And Slinky TWF says,
huge crime problem.
Yeah, huge crime problems. Went to 0% to 85%. And then you find your pirate empire overrun by a crime cartel.
So that was actually another bug where under no circumstances would they work enforcer jobs, I believe. I'm pretty sure that one's been fixed. Let's see. How about adding a small research speed bonus to text that you've unlocked from tasks as a reward for progressing your game in Empire rather than relying on luck? We are concerned that any persistent bonuses would lead to optimal ways of playing the game, where we want it to be essentially an ignorable system if you so choose. let's see. When will feedback about special planetary types be useful? After they've been fully implemented. Right now, my main desire with this early open beta out. Some people are saying it's an open alpha. That's fair enough. It was to see if there were any catastrophic problems with the pop group system. We understand that a lot of the planet stuff is not fully baked yet and not done yet, but it's getting progress.
I also want to say that it's fair enough scoring an open alpha. The thing is, we really wanted to put this build in your hands as soon as possible to start gathering feedback.
And it paid off.
Yeah.
Like you guys found one of those catastrophic things, like robots killing everyone. We would have found it eventually, but...
do criminal jobs appear in the UI now? I imagine no. I didn't see it.
They should.
They should?
I mean, I don't have any criminals right now. So... I don't know where my civilians went, though.
Shapiob is asking, how can I participate in the beta testing? So in the dev diary, there is a small guide with 3 images. You just need to go on Steam and change what's called the branch you're playing on. So basically you need to go in the local files and then select the beta tab there. And from there you scroll at the very bottom and you'll find the, what's the 3.99 open beta is the branch called?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. It's the one at the very bottom. So that's how you do it. You just need to own Stellaris and then you have access to it.
Let's see.
Thank you. Revolver wrote a message.
Yeah, right click on the game in your library and go to properties and then beta. It's currently only available on Steam.
Yep.
That's something that we should mention. Can we change this so luxury housing boosts amenity from city districts rather than on its own? It makes it scale better for scaled planets. The intent is actually for civilians to take on some of the amenity production. So because they're supposed to be sort of clerk/unemployed. We also want them to not having civilians is not a bad thing. That's one of the reasons why we were very adamant about not having them called something like, rabble or whatever. They are useful. They are missing. I don't know where they went. They've all vaporized. Colonization and stuff like that. That's something.
Will modders be able to add their own tasks and tiers to the Empire Focused?
I answered that one already.
Oh yeah,
Thanks.
sorry. Okay, I see also the team is here answering questions in the chat. Do branch office work the same? Will there be any new mechanics?
The biggest changes to the branch office is that they will produce trade rather than energy, because trade is now the market resource and is is stockpileable.
Okay, and what function do what's the name in your
Council agenda ready.
It's not the shipyard, the terming game. It's not the Starhold. Starhold is second stage. The first stage is called
What?
If you click on your shipyard there,
Yeah.
beautiful, you have the trade module there, right?
Oh yeah.
So the trade hub now just produces flat
Oh yes.
trade,
Because it no longer has to do the trade collection thing.
and it's a starport. That was the name I was looking for.
Okay, what does trade do? Trade is used as a market resource, so you can purchase things using trade. It can also be converted like the old things. And here, if I, each of my
System survey complete.
Corvettes has a small logistics upkeep. You see, now that I'm out of my systems, it's up to 0.10 per ship. Whereas when I was back there, it was 0.05. There, 0.05. And if they return back home, it's 0 because they're docked. In enemy space, they would have 0.2. Rival or enemy space. So if you're cloaking and sneaking through your rivals, that will also be slightly more expensive.
Yeah, I also want to say that the new trade change. Remember the conversation we had yesterday about the double fees I was paying to the galactic market
Situation
because I
log
was like
updated.
selling stuff
Oh
and
yeah,
then to
he
buy
was
stuff.
trying to get energy, and he's like, okay, I'm selling my stuff, getting trade, and then I'm buying energy with that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Construction complete.
That's it. That forced me.
Capitalism.
I started a new a new gameplay, and now I'm friends with everybody because instead I started trading with everybody and say, "Oh, you get my food, can I get some energy back?"
So colonization has a new UI. We're going to build a colony ship, and we can be like, yeah, we want a tech world. And here's stuff, and we're going to go colonize. Oh, automated planets working in the new update. Fairly similar to the old one, except we're going to go through the automation scripts again at some point in the very near future, because we're also planning on having the AI use them more, which is kind of cool.
Since trade it's now its own resource, can it be traded between two empires?
Yeah, sure. It's a resource in every way. It also means that you can't do stuff like on the Tomb World, I'm going to throw a bunch of traders down because they ignore habitability. Buying energy sounds weird. The insert comment about the EU energy market.
Yeah.
Building a new home.
Yay, the first Blorg colony. Here's another thing that we've done. So we went through and we called it spam reduction. We went through all of the early game events and things like that because it was just a constant barrage of notification and event and another notification and another event. And a lot of times it was just like, okay, understood, acknowledged. And now we have tried to make anything that pops up be impactful. Like, you need to have some sort of a choice. And here, we're colonizing this planet.
Yep.
Look, we have no category blorgs. This is a beta. But the colonization time depends on how long it takes to get 100 colonists on the planet. They will be migrating from Blorg also. So if you have a large pool of unemployed or civilians, they will be coming over here as well. I'm already fastest. I can't go any faster. X jobs for XX pop systems will continue to work the way they do. It's just, X is a lot smaller. So if you're getting one job per, 50, then it will still be one job. How will trade work with Gestalts? They will have a trade job of some sort because they will need it in order to pay for logistic stuff.
Will the civilian strata eventually have different jobs? I think we already answered that. Based on ethics and civics.
The Autocathon monument already gives them the abilities that the culture workers had, or things influenced on what the culture workers used to have. And anything that used to give things to unemployed gives it to civilians instead.
And then
Maintenance drones is what we were thinking of giving the Gestalts as the civilian cast. Will xenocompatibility be usable late game? So xenocompatibility no longer creates hybrids. I know, I'm sorry.
New frontiers
Your
established.
species list will have to remain sensible. But what it will do is it will pool all of the organic species on the planet together for the pop growth purposes, and then distribute them proportionally. So this should put them higher up on the curve in a better spot. Let's see, we've got our colonists here, and we haven't done this quite yet, but our intention is to take the old colony designation and move it onto the colonist job. So you will want to keep them around. Are there plans to adjust the worker cooperative civic? Not too many, because it's actually pretty good right now, we think. But Alfred will let me know if it's terrible because it's his.
was there ever a consideration of renaming trade for this new use?
We talked about whether it should be logistics or not, but the way we're actually using it, it is kind of like trade goods. But it's doing multiple things. So we do recognize that it's not entirely perfect, but the alternatives were not better.
Yep.
Let's see. We've taken a lot of events. So someone asked, will mercenary dividends not be so in your face? That's very likely one that got turned into a toast or a notification, and will only produce the pop-up if you click on it. a lot of things have been converted into toaster notifications. So here, look, if we send our sign ship around, and then, oh no, this isn't RD. Okay, I can't cheat quite the way I want.
Will compatibility give trade points and trade picks?
I honestly don't remember what other changes that we've done to
Yeah.
it. I'm actually fairly concerned that xenocompatibility will become a must-have if you're a multi-species empire.
Mhm.
So I want to be a little conservative with that one. It's still giving the pop growth bonus. Look, an odd factory.
And
interesting.
also, we are currently past 5.
Oh, are we?
Yep. Here, I covered my laptop. It's
Oh,
1
wow.
minute past 5. So I think
Okay.
we can start maybe taking a final round of
System
questions
survey
before.
complete.
So you can still have kids with a blorg. It'll just either be a blorg or a human.
Okay. Okay. I have many questions, but I think we're just going to discuss it after the stream. Because
Hey, they asked.
I'm like, okay.
Can I show? Oh, show pump modding. That's a good idea.
Yep.
So here we've changed up this screen quite a lot, and once again, I'm gonna cheat real quick. Okay, so when I'm creating templates, we have a much better template modification system here, because everything is sorted and sensible, and we like that. So I have 2 trade points. I have 1 trade pick. We can be docile. And then when I apply, it'll immediately bring up the genetic modification window instead of having to like click in order to get this. But you know what? I don't want this. What I want to do is I want to set the modified blorg as our default species template. And then I want to set my founder species to subspecies integration, integrate into default. And now
Spaceborne life form encountered.
space form life form is encountered. Also, we'll wait a year and a bunch of them will convert over.
Mhm.
Bam. Some of them have changed.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look. Okay, someone actually did do that. I said, we should change this to on monthly. So they're converting over time.
Anomaly found.
Bam. Oh, yeah, and you see anomalies are appearing up here as toasts rather than being all in my face.
So I was just messing around, and an empire spawned 1 jump. I was talking about the beta, I imagine, away from my capital. Is that a bug? I think
That sounds buggy because
System survey complete.
other empires shouldn't spawn inside your empire cluster, usually. There is the... occasionally, the fallen empires do this anyway.
Mhm.
So... you can set a default template for every species that you have, but so basically you can pick where they're going to integrate to.
the release date is still TBD.
System survey complete.
I mean, I know when it's probably.
I also kind of know, but we still haven't.
So it's not really TBD. It's
Anomaly
just,
found.
I can't tell that.
TBA.
tell you that. Yeah, TBA there. It's to be
Anomaly
announced.
found.
Lots of anomalies found that I'm ignoring because they're up in the corner.
Sounds like Fallen Empires need a rework.
Always.
Considering the update to integration, can we now as cybernetics set the default of Xenos to integrate, but then not having to manually remove them from full citizenship?
I'm gonna have to parse this question.
Yeah, it's there is a lot of parts here. So
Someone set the default of Xeno to integrate, but then not have to manually remove them. From
System
citizenship.
survey complete.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, I can't test it here, but if I had a residence species, I could create a template of them and set them to automatically integrate to that most likely, and I can set the default rights to subspecies integration. Yes, so it should be okay. Okay, I can't do it because I have the
Yeah.
blorg selected. So look, we just found another bug. But
so,
anyway,
yeah, I think that right now
we're running over time. aren't
we are already out of time. We should have ended the stream 5 minutes ago. I just want to tell a piece of toast that was asking about the precursor selection, please. I'm not sure that it was not here, maybe, but we already shown the precursor selection at the very beginning of the video of our stream. So a piece of toast. later on you can go grab the VOD, and we show that at the very start of the stream. This being said, it's a very exciting time for Stellaris. The open beta started 2 days ago, and we are already preparing for...
We're planning on updating it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because we only crashed once, and that's good enough.
Yeah, so...
I shouldn't say that because they might... the QA might find something in the morning or something.
Exactly. Like this
My
build...
intention is to update it tomorrow.
Yeah, this build is very, very hot. Like it's...
completely untested.
Yeah,
So,
so we still need to do the test, the hygiene testing before releasing to you guys. But we hope
we will keep the 3990 as a second branch. So my intention here is we're going to be updating frequently, and we're going to keep all of the interim branches available. So if you have a game that's currently running on one of the older versions, you'll be able to continue to play on that version. And that way, you know, at the end of the open beta, you'll be able to reminisce and be like, oh, look at how janky it was.
Yeah. But so keep an eye tomorrow. There might be a new version of the beta to try over the weekend. Again, please head to the forums. We have surveys running to kind of drive the feedback a bit, to tell you what we're looking at in specific areas. Also, come to the forum and tell us your thoughts. Of course, we don't want to limit you. We just also would like to have some aggregated data so that we can make informed decision. And then, of course, replying and letting us know and talking to us is also very important. Other than that, Steven, thank you very much for showing us the new build today.
It's been fun. And thank you all for watching, and thank you for playing Stellaris.
Thank you very much, guys.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.